This video is going to explore what true effective teamwork looks like, starting with how your group projects may tend to go. You pick a team or you're assigned to one. Everyone reluctantly trades contact information, introduces him or herself. One person speaks up, takes charge, and often chooses the topic for the group, overwhelming any dissent or alternative opinions. The project is approached as a divide and conquer. All the parts are split up, everybody takes one and goes off and works on it individually. While you're over there working on your part, you worry about your team members not doing their parts. And then finally, someone, often the person who took charge, or whoever's last to finish his or her part, assembles it all into one document or one binder before the deadline. This doesn't leave many students with a sense of accomplishment or satisfaction. This is not how you are going to approach the major group proposal project for technical writing. Why doesn't this work? As I already mentioned, you're working as individuals. You end up with a project that's several mini reports. It's not a unified whole. It feels like 5 people wrote 5 different parts and then they were hastily slapped together at the end. Often there isn't much communication. Unless there's time in class for team meetings, it can be really hard to get together. So student number 1 does all of this background information, unaware that students 3 and 4 have also given all this background information. When the instructor receives the project, she's baffled. Why did you give the same information over and over? Or there's gaps. There's information that should be there. There tend to be poor transitions. It's very obvious where one individual's contribution stops and the next one starts. Overall, why doesn't this work very well? You are focusing on the product. I know you're thinking, well, yeah, that's what's graded. Teamwork is not a product, it is a process. Learning how to collaborate, learning how to work through difficulties and solve problems is a very valuable skill. And there isn't always an end product to a team conversation. So when you don't focus on the process, here's another way that a group project might go. Everyone trades contact information. Hi, how are you? I'm so-and-so. Someone takes over completely and then does most of the work. Some team members skip meetings, do nothing, which causes most of the group to be unhappy and resentful. The do-it-all reassures everyone else, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to make sure we get a good grade, I have all this covered. And so even people who want to contribute are, in a sense, shut down. People who really don't want to do the project in the first place are happy letting the do-it-all take charge. They're just going to ride the wave, hopefully to a good grade. When you focus on the product, you end up with scenarios that look like this. You have one person working in isolation at his computer. You have another frustrated and irritated while someone else tells him what to do. If you look in the top right here, I don't think this person is even connected with the conversation over here. Maybe she's trying to connect there. Down here, we've got 2 gentlemen very intently focused on something while this woman stands off to the side. Here we have someone lecturing, presenting to the rest of the group. None of this is really effective teamwork. Well, recent research has suggested 3 reasons that some teams work smarter than others, and it has nothing to do with IQ. They actually check that. 1, everybody contributes. Rather than a few people dominating, dictating, deciding how things are going to go, there's more give and take with everyone's ideas at least considered. Second, smarter teams have people who are better at reading teammates' emotions. They're better at sensing when someone is starting to get upset, starting to pull away, or has a really good idea but might just be a little reluctant to share it. And third, teams with more women do better. and the researchers hypothesized that maybe this is because women are better at reading emotions. But you're in an online class. How are you supposed to read emotions when you're not sitting and looking at someone's facial expressions and body language? Well, I'm glad you asked. Online project? The same rules apply. The study considered, is there a difference between web-based and face-to-face teams? And they found that things were relatively constant. People who communicated a lot, participated equally, and possessed good emotion reading skills. What makes teams smart must be not just the ability to read facial expressions, but a more general ability known as theory of mind to consider and keep track of what other people feel, know, and believe. So working on a team where one person sort of bulldozes over the others is not effective because that individual really doesn't care what other people feel, know, or believe. And a quick break for some APA citation. The source of all this information is an online newspaper article with 3 authors. So you'll see that first. Remember, APA only wants initials. So we have Woolley, A, Malone, TW, and, with the curly ampersand, Chabris, C. Here is our APA date format with the year, a comma, the full month spelled out, and the date. Close parenthesis, period. Here's the title of my article, no quotation marks. Notice that it looks like a regular sentence. It doesn't have what we might consider the standard title capitalization. APA rules are different. Then I put the name of the online newspaper in italics. I got this from the New York Times. And then I put retrieved from. Here's my full URL, and there's no period at the end. I just put HTML, PDF, that's it. If I wanted to do an in-text citation, I would list all 3 of my authors by last name. I would put the year, and then I would put PARA, period, for paragraph, and then I would sit here and count up which paragraph am I in for this particular quote or paraphrase. In your group proposal project, you are going to be dealing with research and you're going to be practicing and refining your skills with APA citation. And it really is a group effort. If you look at this picture, is anyone, as far as you can tell, sitting in the boat just enjoying the experience? No. Some people are very clearly pulling, some people are more pushing, but everyone here is engaged in a common goal. Get the boat onto the sand. It's perfectly okay to volunteer for those roles where you feel you'll be most effective. Maybe you don't want to be the guy who's the anchor, pulling for all you're worth. Maybe you'd rather be on this end, but you need to make a contribution. One thing we'll be looking at before we really get into this group project is the concept of Belbin team roles. Where are you most effective? Because everybody is effective at something. If you think about these people getting this boat out of the water, they're going to be proud and pleased with themselves once it's out. But they're also going to be really pleased with themselves for working together. They're going to remember how hard it was, how I pushed, how you pulled. They're going to remember the process. And because I know you are college students, 25% of your group proposal grade is based on teamwork. It is based on the process, how well you play with others. 50 out of 200 points. This is to encourage a focus on teamwork. And because I know I'm going to get the questions, here's how I'm going to be judging your collaboration and your teamwork efforts. Each group is going to have a dedicated discussion forum that only your group can see. You're expected to contribute to it and interact with your teammates. You're not just supposed to talk and not respond to anybody. You'll be doing multiple peer evaluations, 4 of them in fact, where you will evaluate week by week your teammates' contributions, and they're not going to know what you said, So it's a place to be honest. And finally, I'll be looking at how you're using your common Google files, a document, and slides for a presentation to complete all of your work. If your group does not use the Google Doc and the Google Slides to complete all work, your collaboration points will suffer. And of course, you'll be getting more details about all of this, what's expected, how do I use a Google Doc? There's going to be videos about that, don't worry. Your weekly peer evaluations are folded into your discussion activities. So you're not doing more, the peer evaluations are just one of your activities. Bottom line, be prepared, do your part, do your research, be polite. If the group decides that your research isn't going to be useful, don't insist on putting it in there. Be productive, and finally, be patient. Not everybody works at the same pace. I certainly encourage groups to set soft deadlines, as in, let's try to have a draft of X, Y, and Q done by this date so we can all go in and look at it and comment on it. But it doesn't help to start pestering your classmates for work that they are perfectly capable of doing, they just aren't doing it on your timeline. So there's an overview about how this project is designed to work. Teamwork is a skill that needs to be learned and practiced. I am not saying that you're going to do this and it's going to revolutionize the way you think about group projects and it's going to be awesome and perfect and you're all going to love each other. But hopefully this will give you a different perspective, a different way to approach a team assignment, and a set of skills you can then carry over into other courses and, of course, your future career.